Hello, everyone, and the team is back by
Oh,
popular.
I missed you guys, man. Where have you been?
Strydom was in San Francisco, but he's back now.
And you?
I've been all over. I've been Newmark. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere.
Well, good to be back.
Good to be back. We're starting to now preview some proper racing. We've got the Charity Mile coming up this weekend at Turfentine. And it's a 10-race card. So I think we should just bang straight into it because we're going to have a bit of chit chat along the way, but it is a 10-race card and we need to get going. Who's goes first for race one? Striker.
Well, I worked it out. Only 3 horses can win it. Number 1, Fastnet Filly. She's run behind some horses that have won, but she's a 5-year-old maiden. She's had many chances. I've cut it down to, I know, Gabera or something, number 5. Also, money came for it first time out, but the form's not that great. So I'm cutting it down to Desert Cloud, but she hasn't run for a while. That is number 3. Number 10, my one and only, the Lati race. And then number 11, Roaming Spirit. They've had many winners from those form lines. I'm going to go and lean towards number 11, Roaming Spirit, as my first choice, and the other 2 to pilot up for second and third.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, it is a tough race. It's a nice start to the day. Pierre's pretty much summed up the race, but I have a different view on the race than he does. This Desert Cloud's coming off a long race. I know it's got Rodeo Drive in its form, which is solid, but there's obviously been a reason why it hasn't run for so long. So I'm not that mad about it. Number 1 for me is not in the race. Sean was bitterly disappointed with the 5 last time. He thought it should have won. It says better than that, so that'll improve. But for me, the foremost in the race is number 10, my one and only. It got beat by a horse that ran a short head to my filly, Care Forgot. And there's been 4 or 5 winners out of that form line at Scottsville. So for me, that's the horse to beat. The only question mark there is it's Barron's first run on the half-veld. And if the horses haven't taken 100% to the tracks, that's what will beat this horse. Otherwise, for me, it's Sean Terry Guerra or Barron Boot is my one and only. I'm not mad about Roaming Spirit. It does have a chance, but I'm not mad about it. The betting is 5 to 2, 3. Desert Cloud 11, 5 to 2. 3 to 1, my one and only. 4 to 1, Guerra. 8 and 10's better in the ballot.
Okay, so I couldn't disagree with you, Oaks, more if I tried. Okay, so I think Gabera obviously ran behind my horse Car's Biggest Bars. Like Piere said, some of the form hasn't been framed, but I know Car's Biggest Bars not a slouch. Gabera was quite unlucky that day. I think that horse was there or thereabouts. But this number 1, Fastnet Filly, 8 to 1. I know she hasn't run for 238 days, but her form is not too shabby. It really isn't. She's run behind a lot of winners, that horse. The stable started to fire. The fact that they've kept her in training, they're going to try and obviously win a race with her. Richard booking, 8 to 1, wrong price for me. I'd say this horse starts 4 to 1, 9 to 2, and I think Fastnet Filly is a proper each-way bet. That's my selection in racing.
All right, you take your chances with a 5-year-old. But anyway, I hear what you say.
Yeah, listen, Lance, I get it. In the old
If
days,
anybody takes 4 to 1 that horse, they got the needle to their money.
I said she'll start 4 to 1. She's 8 to 1 now on your side. So if you go to soccershop.bet, Fastnet Filly's an 8 to 1 chance now, which is about the right price, right? But I think the money will come for her. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, the only reason it can come for her is free.
Yeah, exactly. Or she's been working up a storm or something, right? So
And the stable's decent, but they're not, in my opinion, in hot form.
I think it's Richmond, isn't it?
yeah, it's a Richmond horse, so that's why.
Yeah, so Richard Free has to ride it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, her form isn't bad. If you took 2 years of her age, And her form's not too bad. She ran behind Tequila Sky last time, Pilot Flame. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
You know?
Not
You know,
for me,
if
son.
she
Not
was a
for me.
3-year-old, if she was a 3-year-old, both of you should be 16 to 10.
But
Yeah.
she isn't.
I get it, but they've kept her in training for a reason, right? Let's move on to race 2.
Take it away, Joe.
Easiest race on the card. Overs, Cadovers. You can have your maximums on Hong Kong.
The favorite, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Owned by you, Joe.
Okay. From the
So,
bookmaker, we opened it 2-1 and the heat came. So your horse is strong, Joe, not necessarily from you only. The money's come from all parts of the world, and the horse is fancied. The dogs are barking, and you've told me a while ago that this horse can run. So I'm gonna be with you.
yeah, look, Tony likes her a lot. And she's putting up some really good work. And obviously, I know Piere doesn't like first timers, obviously with a lot of money on, because anything can happen. She wasn't very expensive, but she can run, and I'm looking forward to her making a winning debut. That's what we can tell the punters on our podcast.
On the Sean horse Emirata, I had lunch with Sean this afternoon. He says in a weak field should run well, but I told him I don't know how weak the field is. I believe this Hong Kong can run. He said, well then, if Hong Kong can run, it should win. But his horse as well.
Piere?
Yeah, to me, I mean, of the ones that have run, it's not too strong. So any money come for a first timer, you would expect that horse to win. And if you say it can run and money's come for it, let's go with yours, Hong Kong.
Okay, we're all...
Right, go, Joe boy. Joey, you did it again.
Oh, by the way,
Colours
talking about doing it again, for those watching this podcast that often watch it, that horse that Piere Strydom won for Merlin, that came out and won again, eh?
It won easier this time than it did last time.
Yeah, follow. Right,
Well done.
race 3. Lance, go first.
Okay, guys, I've looked at this race and it's a little bit of a problem for me because the horse I like is running tomorrow against Champion Warrior.
Okay.
My gut tells me if it runs tomorrow, then my studying of this race has all been for nothing. But if it doesn't run tomorrow and they pass by tomorrow's race and it runs Saturday, it'll win. Parisian Walkway. It's a young horse. It's got decent form. It's run to some top horses. And the field that it's meeting have all had their fair share of chances. If this horse Parisian Walkway runs tomorrow, then obviously it's not my first pick. I don't think it'll run. But I got a feeling it won't run tomorrow, and then Saturday's its mission. Then I think it's a horse to be with. It's 5-1 in an open betting race, and I think it stands for good value. But like I said, depends if it runs tomorrow.
Okay, Piere?
Lance, you've got a spot on. Parisian Walkway looks the right horse in this race. But, I mean, if he does run tomorrow, I think the chances of him running on Saturday is very small. Okay, so let's then work out that he doesn't run. Then it's wide open. I'm going to then stick my head out on a horse called Royal Edition, number 5. I rode him last time over 1700. It's too short for him. And it was on the inside track at the Vaal. So it's got the shortest straight. Unfortunately, didn't jump that well. He's a galloper. He needs to jump and go and use his stride. And he didn't come out very well. And I got cut off in the early part, so I couldn't lead. And the pace wasn't that hot and became a bit of a sprint, and it didn't suit him at all. And if you look at collateral form lines, he's got most of these horses beaten. And so extra distance, stand side, I'm going to give
good
my
value, 10-1.
Yeah, my value on a bet, Royal Edition. Obviously, if Parisian Walkway gets scratched, then it's gonna,
Big jockey strike.
and then Parisian Walk, Royal Edition should be my roughie.
Okay, so you've got a couple of good selections there, guys, but unfortunately, I'll make this a one-horse race again. Parisian Walkway,
Yeah.
no Parisian Walkway, I don't care. Okay. Birthright for me is the right horse. 10-1. Nivan Nitsali gets 2.5 kilos. Horse gets blinkers for the first time. Alec
I
Leathers.
didn't see the blinkers, it's not in the book.
Well, I do.
Alec Lead's got 3 horses in this race.
I know he does. And I think Birthright with a low weight. I mean, last time this horse carried 52.5, it ran behind Golden Peace at Scottsville. They punted it as if it couldn't lose. It got beat. It's run behind some decent horses. Jordan. I mean, look, it's only won one race, but well bred, 10-1, each way money all day long for me. They've backed this horse its last 2 starts, ran 11 days ago. I say, like I said, get the blinkers for the first time. I think Alex, I know Alec knows what he's doing. And with the extra 2.5 kilos off its back, I think this horse is a big, big runner. I'd be punting this horse a place almost for sure as a punter.
Well, I think it comes into the race if the Parisian Walkway doesn't
Absolutely.
run.
But obviously then there'll be a deduction, so it'll come in at
You'll get 5-1, still good value in the race.
Yeah, it's still good value. I think it's a runner. Obviously, it reduces the places down by 1, but I think it's a big runner. Right, let's move on.
Funny enough, Joe, I followed this was last time. I thought it couldn't lose on form, and it let me down. But often, horse runs like one run a little bit below, and the next time it arrives. So I think you could have found a good one there.
Yeah, and I think the blinkers, Piere, as an owner and being in the racing game for such a long time, jockeys get off a horse and they say, listen, A, B, C, and D, try this next time, try blinkers next time. So the fact that Alex putting blinkers on the horse, the fact that it's dropping from 60 kilos down, I know it's a handicap, I get all of that, but I think he's a runner, this horse, I really do. Right, race 4, I'll go first. So if you log on to the soccershop.bet website, you will get all the betting up now already. A lot of the other firms haven't even priced up. Also, please check the terms and conditions for the offer that Lance has done for this particular podcast. There'll be a separate video, guys, talking about it because it's quite a clever thing that Lance and them have done, but we don't want to bog the podcast down with that. But Lance, well done. I think it's a great offer that the punters are getting. So
I hope they embrace it because it is a charity race day and we try to be as charitable as possible.
100%. Okay. So I'm going to go in race number 4. Okay. I don't know anything. I haven't spoken to anyone, but with 53 kilos on his back, I know he's a 3-year-old. I know he's slightly out, but for me, Taxi to the Moon, Tony Peter. For me, the yard has really turned the corner. We're getting a lot of color again now on form grids, a lot of 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So Taxi to the Moon, Lance Michael, soccershop.bet, got 4-1. That's my selection in that race. Go on, Piere.
Yeah, I've been trying to cut this field down to the ones I don't like, and then trying to see what's left over. I mean, like also like Dreamland. He won a couple of races in a row, and the last time at Greyville, he was drawn 14 out of 14. He hasn't run for quite a while, but you can't write him off. Cosmic Star, number 5, finished behind Dice. You've got Miles Cliffhanger, who finished behind Dice as well. I'm betting to find a winner here.
It's a hard race. It's a hard race.
Hard race. Down the straight, I'd probably lean towards with the outside draw. So Taxi in the Moon comes into play. Red Bomber is a runner. I can't find a specific one here.
Did you? Okay, so here's a different way. Did you ride Cliffhanger because you fat, or would you have chosen something else in the race?
Because I'm fat. Well,
Okay.
but I was quite happy to get on team.
Yeah, he's a nice horse, that. I know him well.
Yeah.
He's a nice horse.
Yeah. I mean, he's a 4-year-old. He's probably still on the up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to ride him, and obviously must have a good chance. He's got to be one of the runners.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
guys, I've looked at the race. I've dissected the race pretty much like Piere did. What I don't like. I don't like Taxi to the Moon. So that
Okay.
I put a line through. Cliffhanger and Cosmic Star have got strong horses in their form line. Dice, Thunderstruck, back in business. But the race is a very tough race. So there's going to be pace. You obviously know that because Chocolate Soldier's in the race. So without sounding boring or mundane, I'm going for the 1 and I'm going for the 5. And I think they'll fight it out. The rest are running for minors.
Yeah, but if you're playing a pick 6 and that, you want to load up in that race.
Tough
Definitely.
race. Very, very tough race.
Yeah, 100%. Right, now the proper racing starts. Some really nice horses to talk about. Race 5 is the Princess Charlene Starling Stakes, and what a great race this is, eh? It's only a Group 3, but sure, this is a nice race. Piere, Strydom is riding Fatal Flaw, and SoccerShop.bet have got that up as the 2-1 favorite. Are you happy with that, Piere?
Yeah. I mean, she deserves to be a favorite. She's an easy horse to ride. She's got speed, but yet she can still relax in front. She's a nice, strong filly. She's strengthened up as well. She's got a good draw, a lot in her favor. She's probably the one to beat.
Yeah. I mean, if quid pro quos in this race, you've got to believe she'd be short, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Lance?
Best horse in the race, short and sweet.
Fatal
Run
Flaw.
against better horses. Sean likes World of Alice, he says, but Fatal Flaw's got a pull on it. And he says he's looking for a big run from Coco Melon. He says, run a cracking race over a track that wouldn't have suited it. And he doesn't think she's very far off these, but this run will tell him. But for me, I think Piere will win.
Okay, so
Fatal Flaws, for me, is the closest thing to a banker on a tough card.
Floor, Oxalis Gold running on towards the outside and down the inside, Sonic Jet, but Fatal Floor hit the front with 150 meters to go, got 2 lengths to spare of Oxalis Gold, then came Vavra, but it's all Fatal Floor in the closing stages, and Fatal Floor won it. Second, Oxalis Gold, third, Sonic Jet.
Okay, so I agree. I think Fatal Flaw is a big runner, but I actually remember Coco Melon's last run, and Lance, you and I were speaking earlier in the week, and I'd said to you that 20-1 is the wrong price. This horse. I remember this horse's last win. I will ask my friend Striker because he was on Mountain High that day, and Jilted had lost some of its equipment. Piere was in behind Jilted. Piere looked race over, and this horse took off. Okay, this horse ran the last 400 meters in 22.6, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, 22.6, one going away. And I'm saying in the form book, Fatal Flaw's got unrivaled form. But these young horses, they do improve. And I would hasten to add that that horse surprised Sean last time out. And at 20-1 with Richard Fourie in the irons from Stallgate 6, I can't see it missing the first 3. I really can't. And so I don't know what you saw last time you rode against Coco Melon, Piere, but
Yeah, I felt like a winner, and I was quite surprised that a horse flew up and got up to beat us. So there's got to be merit in that win.
there's got to be something in there.
But in fairness, Mountain High is not much of a horse. With
Yeah,
respect.
I
So-
agree with you there too.
But the fact that he's 5 lengths clear of the third horse, and it was its only second run, there could be plenty more in the tank. So
Yeah.
it could be a nice 20-1 chance to add in.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's other horses in the race. Selenia Peninsula, I fancied it last time. It ran second to behind a good horse as well. It's a great race.
Form, Joe. Form is solid.
Form is very good in this race. A good filly wins this race, that's for sure. That's for sure. Right, let's
Great
move
race.
to race 6. I'll go first. So,
Maybe Lance should go first, yeah.
maybe.
Didn't you have
Let
lunch
me
this
go
morning?
first, because I own the favourite in partnership with my cousin Derek and Lawrence Werners and a few other owners which have had great success. So the specialist is doing really well. On form, the specialist should win. You know, it's got Wahid beat. It's got the best form in the race. But Sean said it, you know, if it wins, he won't be surprised, but he would love to have had just a little more time. But he says the horse is doing well and it can win. I don't think 22-10 represents value for Legend of Arthur. I think that's more like a 4-1 chance, which makes the 2-1 about the specialist attractive, because I think it could start shorter. But my improvers in the race are Wahid and Don't Cry For Me. Those are my 2 improvers in the race. I'm not mad about the Legend of Arthur, and I'm obviously hoping that the specialist wins. I'm not confident with Fire Attack. It's too long a rest, and I think this race is going to be too tough from a long rest. So for me, it's specialist, Wahid, Don't Cry For Me. That's how I see the race.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to this race because Wahid's, look, he hasn't probably kicked on like we wanted him to, but Greyville was against him last time. The draw was against him. So actually all I want to see is him being closer to the specialist and run to his, what we believe is his ability. Craig Zaki gave him a fantastic ride last week. You know, he was kind to him. He's come back fresh. He's ready for the race. He's a big price. I'm not saying he's strong or anything, but I'd like to see him with that long straight, just gallop, because that's what he's needed all along. Greyville was...
I love Turpentine, this boy.
Yeah, Greyville was no good for this horse at all. We tried, we failed. And so I think the specialist for sure is the horse to beat. But I'd like to see Wahid be very close to him this time. So that's my opinion in this race.
Lance, why do you like Don't Cry For Me?
Yeah, I'm ignoring its last run. And, you know, when it ran behind Truth was not a bad horse. I know it got beat quite badly, but I just, you know, when I did the form, I thought it's a horse that could have a chance over the trip. You know, he's a type of horse that he's just a nice addition in the firm, 14-20-1, him and Wahid. It's not a horse that I like and I would tell people to punt, but it's a horse that I think will, you know, if it wins, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, out of the bunch that are running, it's a tough field, but I just think he's a good outsider. I can't really tell you why. I mean, Truth's in its line.
Did Sean not say anything?
No, not a word.
Yeah.
He did mention the specialist, and he mentioned a Legend of Arthur saying that he wishes it had a little bit of rain. If it had a bit more rain, he'd be a lot more confident, and obviously 200 meters and more, you'll see the best of this horse, Legend of Arthur. So he likes the specialist, but, you know, in Sean, he's never very overconfident. He says, I just wish I had a little, you know, a little more, I wish I'd done a bit more with him. He says, but he's working well enough to win. Those are his words verbatim.
Okay. Now, why I'm asking is because I had to choose between Don't Cry For Me, obviously Wolf Mountain and Ombudsman, because I ride for the syndicate. And I think Wolf Mountain, Ombudsman are, I think they're outclassed. And I was considering, so I was thinking of going with Don't Cry For Me. But because he was drawn quite bad in the beginning, then obviously the races cut down and he came in a bit. And that the fact he hadn't run for quite a while, you know, it put me off. Anyway, so for me, I'm turning it down. I'm choosing between a specialist. I think he will be hard to beat, and I think Fire Attack. I just heard the jockeys spoke about Fire Attack, that he's quite a nice horse. So he could be a big runner from a good draw. Unfortunately, also hasn't run for a long time. And then Legend of Arthur is probably the other danger, but he hasn't run for a while as well. Wahid, for me, I still think, I mean, I rode him 2 starts back. I still think he needs further, and he'll get stronger in time. He's still maturing, you know, he's a late maturer, and he's a strong horse. So he wants to take you on, and when he learns to settle and relax in the race and he gets stronger, I think you'll see the best of him. But for that reason, I'm going to say the Specialist will be a tough horse to beat.
The Specialist along the inside. 300 metres to go. Master Casper being kept together. Impact Investor now asked to fetch. The Specialist goes to the inside. This trio have the race to themselves. The Specialist is finding a Dream Rails run on the inside. And Samanga Kamalo and the Specialist will draw first blood. Then came Master Casper. Impact Investor in behind these runners. Don't
Piere,
That's good to hear. Let's hope you're both right.
Piere, when you rode Don't Cry For Me, you rode him as a colt. He's now a gelding. Do you think that will have the impact that obviously they think it will?
You know what? I was quite surprised when he rode him in the beginning, in his early career, that he was quite a nice horse, but he somehow over the months he hasn't grown, and that sort of put me off. And then when I rode him last time at Greyville, we were drawn bad, and he didn't have a good run. I was on the outside, and he didn't really want to corner. He was worried about the other horses on the inside. So there were excuses, but he hasn't really grown, and that sort of it just put me off him, because I thought he was a nice horse when he won his maidens.
Right. Okay. Interesting. All right, cool. Let's move on to the big one, race 7. And again, don't forget, this is a charity day, and Lance has put up some great offers. So if you still don't know what the offers are, watch the other video. It's only 3 minutes long, but it'll tell you what the offers are. This is a great race. Mr. Strydom.
Yo.
Was your agent not working?
The weights obviously were against me, yeah.
Okay.
So I was never going to get Francis Ethel. Gladiatorian was an option if Tristan Gordon was going to ride it. Barbaresco, Gavin jumped onto that one quite quickly. Winchester Mansion didn't want me on it after its last run.
Yeah.
And then Dave the King, Richard Free obviously rides the horse. So
you were buggered.
yeah, my options were limited, very limited.
Fair enough. Okay,
Sear again was in here. Or he was going to be an option, but he didn't get nominated.
Yeah. Well, he's running on Sunday, but I know you're not flying down.
Yeah, he's running the Pinnacle Plate. Drawn 1, Grail Mile, must be hard to beat. Obviously, the other horse could be a danger, Royal Victory.
Yeah.
But I think after being gelded, drawn 1, Gravel, drawn 1, big advantage, and he's the best rated horse in the race.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to this race. So what would you have liked to have ridden if you're coming in at 53 kilos?
Yeah, I mean, the horses that I thought now are in their prime or ready to win, they're not needing runs, would have been a horse like, say, Back in Business, but drawn 17. How do you like horse from that draw?
Bad draw.
Other horses, I was offered Silver Sanctuary, can't do the weight, but you know, a filly that's probably, you know, like still needs to go on the up. Francis Ethel, you know, back to a mile, a second run might take the speed off her. Gladiatorian was an option, but I'm not sure if he's a tough mile horse, drawn 15. So I probably would have ended up choosing Barbaresco, and yet he also drawn 12.
Yeah.
But his best runs have been over a mile. It looks like it. Obviously, the horse to beat in is Dave the King. How ready is he? I don't know. First run after since July. But if I have to pick between this field, I would say Dave the King and Barbaresco.
Okay. So for me, I think this is Dave the King's race. He's a completely different horse since they cut him. The way he races, it'll suit. You've got a lot of horses in behind that need a lot of things to happen for them to be successful. And I just think Dave the King, 5-1, he was 10-1. There's obviously been a change in price because of deductions.
I've got a special guest here quickly. Sorry, Joe. The champion of P1L Goa Cup.
Oh, well
Hello,
done.
Joe.
Hello, Jacques. How are you?
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
We're just doing the podcast. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, very good. Give the viewers a winner for Friday.
I haven't opened the race card yet, but my bestie is Downing 7.
Downing 7.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Who's riding it?
Schwarz.
Why not Strydom?
He's more important. He has to stay in Joburg and fly the flag. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll
Sorry,
put that
Joe.
up for the viewers. Thank you. Okay, we won't be long. Right, let's go. Okay, I think Dave the King, 10-1, 5-1. It was 10-1.
For me, Dave the King, Barbaresco, that's the race.
Yeah, listen. But
And it's very hard to say that in a handicap because it's a handicap for a reason.
Yeah.
From Sean, Otter Ruby will run a big race, but his mission's the Summer Cup. And I'm not mad about back in business, even though I think it's a smart horse. I think it's better over less. So Dave the King will carry the weight, Barbaresco, and then a Hiroshima for everybody. Give me another chance. I think you'll see the best. He ran on nicely last time, Joey, and I think his best form will put him in the race. So bad draw, but he's going to ride him for luck, and he'll be finishing on them, and he could sneak into a place.
100%. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Right, let's do race 8, guys. I'll go
That's a horrible race. I'll go first. It's the Allied.
You're going to go first. Okay, go first.
Group 3, it's a nice race. It's always been a nice race. I have a strong fancy in 2 horses, guys. I like a horse called Olivia's Way. I think it's ahead of the handicap. That's between you and me. I saw it win the other day. I think it's way ahead of the handicapper. So I know Jason had it 14-1. I brought it in. So this is not money. This is me just having a look at the book and saying, Jay, it's a bit big. So I brought it in. Jason's very strong on Sukovic. And I do respect his judgment. I don't like Forgiveness. I think it's won well the last 2 starts, but it hasn't really beaten much. But this will be its acid test. So for me, quite a good each way bet, Olivia's Way. And Jason, our odds maker, thinks Sukovic best bet on the card. That's the word from soccershop.bet.
Okay, well, I've got a very strong fancy in this race. And I have to butt in and cut Piere Strydom off. I don't know what's happened. But the Lorenzo Karim Manu Panaram stable have not even turned the corner. They are becoming super consistent. Okay? Striker's won on this filly or this mare, Indian Ocean, twice. Okay? So I had to say this first because I don't know what he thinks about it. Okay? But this filly ran, or this mare ran 3 lengths off Meridius, 2.75 lengths off Down to Business, 5.4 lengths off Future Swing, 3.2 lengths off Celtic Beauty. Okay? Since Pierre's been on it, she's improved. Like she's going up and up. She's gone from a 95 to a 99 to a 105. And Manu and the team, I don't think she's going to stop. 16-1 each way bet, Indian Ocean for me all day long. Go, Piere.
Yeah, unfortunately, she was nominated, I think, about a month and a half ago, and she got scratched. And then took the ride again 2 weeks later, got scratched. So they've been little issues. And I think that's probably why she's the price she is. That's number one. Number two, she probably needs a bit further. She's a bit of a galloper. I mean, she won the first time I won on her, she won from last. Couldn't go with them. And luckily the pace was on and she got going late to get up. The next time I was able to ride her from the front, and that's the way she needs to race. So 1800, a little bit short for her, and then obviously she hasn't run now for a while because she's been scratched a couple of times. There must be issues. I'm gonna lean towards Sukhumvit as well. Second to Francis Ethel. Then third to Barbaresco. She's drawn one. She's only problem is she's a very strong filly. The jockeys all have an issue trying to settle her. And then the other thing is she doesn't jump very well. And when she doesn't jump from the outside, the other horses are quicker, cut her off, and then she's further back than she wants to. If she gets a run of a race, hard horse to beat. Otherwise, I'm going to go with Olivia's Way. She went past me last time. I ran second to her on Little Mary Sunshine, and she went past me when I thought the race was over.
Oh, Piere, that was an impressive win. That's why I'm saying I think this horse, this filly's ahead of the handicapper. I know she's a 97, but I think she could represent 110, 108.
Yeah,
for me,
right.
she's got a huge chance.
And she's a big price, 7-1.
Yeah, I think so. She could start shorter, but you know, I'm just like I say, my opinion is she's ahead of the handicap, and this race will tell us.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the 2-4, the Java Stakes. Piere, you go first. I'll tell you how they bet if that's going to sway you in any way. 4-1 Marauding Horde, the winner. 5-1 Razor Hallelujah. Battleground 5-1. Poets Corner 6-1. Explosive Bond 6-1. 7-1 Zeus. I ran wide at Greyville. And 10-1 Bar. What do you think?
You know, Marauding Horde at its first run, was it like a week ago?
7 days ago.
Now it's gonna go straight a week later. After a race. You know, if a horse is fit and racing fit, you can get away with running them on top of one another because you can handle the run. But if you haven't run for a while, it sort of takes a bit out of you because you're not super fit. So I'm going to go against Marauding Horde. But, you know, Mark the Cocky can get anything right. Poets Warrior. Wow, that won a good race the other day. And it just keeps on finding. Once again, difficult race. I don't know what to lean towards. Raise Hallelujah is so consistent. Zeus, I think he might enjoy the slightly less distance because he's quite a puller as well. He's drawn well. So he might have the run of the race because he always has to sit last because he's so strong. And so I think from drawn 4, and he's been, I'm going to go with Zeus. That's my first pick.
Zeus for Strydom. What about you, Lance?
Okay, everybody can see Zeus has got the 2 kilos on Razor Hallelujah, and again, I think Razor Hallelujah is at its max. I don't think it'll win this race. I think he's won his 2 and he's now got it to do. Marauding Horde flat, second round, 7 days, not for me. The race is between 2 horses, Poet Warrior and Battleground, and I think Battleground, that last win was very impressive. So I'm strong on Battleground, and I think Poets Warrior will follow him home. The rest, they're going to take 4-1 and under about Marauding Horde. Well, I want to be the one taking the bets. And 5-1 Razor Hallelujah, not for me. I think it's done its dash. Zeus, I do respect. I think he might just be getting there because he's everybody else is getting punished from the handicapping and weight perspective. So he's going to run an honest race, especially with Gavin on. So strong on Battleground. I know it looks like a bit of a jump, but I think this could be quite a nice horse, and I like Poets Warrior to chase him out.
Yeah, I sort of agree. I think Battleground's a big runner with 52 kilos on its back. Looks like an improving horse. They actually did something very unique with this horse. They took this horse down to PE, won a race, brought it back to Joburg, which is amazing. kudos to Lucky and his team. That took a lot of planning, and I think it's very good that trainers think out the box. So this obviously a hardy horse, won a great race 14 days ago. So I agree, Battleground's the one. However, I would definitely take a few little places or swingers with the Cox horse Aragosta. Now, I know.
Stop it. That's an empty show.
Okay, but listen to me. We have opinions, right? If you don't like it, double the odds or have a go. Do you know what I mean? But
When you come out of retirement, then we can talk about doubling the odds.
Look, this horse's 2,400 meter form isn't the worst, eh? Actually.
No, I'm tired of him. I think he was a top 3 and 4 year old, and he's just not there anymore.
Oh, I get it. But the cock, no. Look, the cock's not going to keep the horse running for the sake of keeping the horse running. He obviously thinks there's something in the tank. There's something in the tank. Marauding Horde. Look, here in England, they do it all the time. Horses win on Monday, over 2,000 meters. They step out on Wednesday, they win again. They step out on the Saturday, they win again. The following Monday, they go up 7 or 8 pounds in the weight and they win again. Like it can be done. They did say in the interview that once they cut this horse, he's a different animal. So
just to let you know, after last week's run, this horse was triple claimed. They're 50, 33, 25, 9 to 14, 20 to 1.
Yeah,
So,
doesn't surprise me. So for me, Battleground, Marauding Horde, Aragosta trifecta, easy peasy.
those claims are for the Summer Cup, by the way.
Yeah. Which Marauding Horde?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's now 20 to 1. Before Saturday's race, it was 50.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the gelding's good. I just think the run's coming too soon.
Yeah. That's what can beat him. Right. Let's finish with the 10th and final. I want to go first. I want to apologize to Clinton because I said before High Q won its maiden, I don't think the horse that won that race could ever win another race. And this horse has won 2 in a row now. And that's amazing. And at round about the 4 to 1 mark, look, I like this horse. I think High Q can go in again. Why not? I really do. I think they've got this horse. Whatever he figured out with this horse, whatever this horse needed, they've got it. He's won 2 good races. I know only won by a short head last time out, but I think he can go in again. And 4 to 1, I think he's a decent each way shout. It's a toughish card. Like, don't spend all the money that you want on Hong Kong. But for me, I'm going with High Q. Piere?
Okay, I don't like RQ. Sorry, Piere. Let me get that out the way. I don't like RQ. I'm definitely not in your camp there. It's a tough betting race, but I'm strong on a horse here.
Go on.
A horse called Caliburn. Go back in the 2 runs back. It's got a 4.5 kilo pool with Red Legend, who I think is a runner in the race. And earlier in its form, it's run very, very close to back in business. I like this horse very much. It's got a very low weight. I know it's got an apprentice on, which is not a positive thing, but I think the 4 kilos will negate that. It's carrying 51.5 kilos. It's got strong form, and I think that'll win, and Red Legend will be folly in the toe.
Thank you. Piere?
Lance, spot on. Caliburn, drawn well. The kid, Garish Samuel Boothia, he's had a few winners lately. He's learning the game. Remember, we all need time to learn about the game. So he's obviously learning with every ride. He's drawn well, so hopefully it won't be too difficult. This horse doesn't really jump that well, but if he comes from the back claiming 4, the form is so close on top of one another. Take 4 kilos off, let's make a difference. So I'm with you. Number 9, Caliburn.
Okay. Very interesting. Right. We've nailed that all down. The podcast is going out first thing in the morning. Piere, you are riding Champion Warrior for us on Thursday. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, same course, same distance.
No,
Was it
no,
good
200
last-
meters more.
200 meters more. Okay, so it shouldn't worry him. He used to hang quite badly. Last time he went straight. So obviously Sean Terry has found something he worked out. That obviously there was some little issues, and so he's on the up. I mean, early days he showed a lot of potential, and
Yeah.
once Sean sorted out that he could just find his best form from early days, and yeah, big runner.
Okay.
Well, let's hope you bring him home first, Piere.
Okay, guys, listen, looking forward to Saturday, looking forward to Hong Kong, looking forward to Piere riding winners, looking forward to the specialist and Wahid. It's been another great chat, great podcast, guys. Thank you very much. Lance, we'll put the offers up. Boom shakala.
Thank you, guys. Take
Thank
care.
Cheers.
Cheers.